What if I told you that the most successful real estate empires weren't built by people who sold at the right time, but by those who knew exactly when not to sell? Now, you're about to make the biggest financial mistake of your life. And I'm not talking about buying a home. I'm talking about selling one at the wrong time. Hey there, I'm Tom Baker, and as your local Portland realtor who's seen almost every scenario you could imagine, I'm here to tell you something that might shock you. Sometimes the best real estate advice is to not sell your house. Now, I know that sounds crazy coming from someone who makes money when you sell, but here's the thing. I've watched too many homes here in Oregon lose tens of thousands of dollars because they sold at the wrong time for the wrong reasons. Now, in the next few minutes, I'm going to share with you 5 situations where selling your home will cost you more money than staying put. And if you're in any of these situations right now, this video could literally save you $50,000 or more. Now, I've been helping Portland families navigate this market for a long time, and if I've seen the same costly mistakes over and over and over, today I'm going to dive into these 5 situations, and I promise by the end of this video, you'll know exactly whether now is the right time to sell or if you should wait. Now, the first situation might surprise you because it's not about market conditions or home values. The first situation where you should never sell your home is when you're making an emotional decision. Let me tell you a little something about Sarah. So her husband passed away, and within 2 months, she had called and reached out wanting to sell their beautiful home in Portland. And her exact words were, I just can't handle being here anymore. I need to get out. So here's the problem with that. When you're grieving, going through a divorce, or dealing with an empty nest syndrome, your brain isn't wired to make good financial decisions. You're in survival mode, not strategic mode. In Portland's market, emotional sellers typically leave $20,000 to $40,000 on the table because they accept the first offer that comes in. They don't properly prepare their home for a sale and making pricey decisions based on urgency and not market value. So if you're going through a major life change, give yourself at least 6 months before making any real estate decisions. Use that time to process, plan, and prepare. Your future self will thank you. Even if you avoid that emotional trap that we just talked about, there's another mistake that's even more common in Portland right now. The second situation is when you haven't figured out where you're gonna go next. This is huge in the Portland market right now. I get calls all the time from people saying, we want to downsize, but we can't find anything. Or we want to move closer to our grandkids, but we haven't looked at the market yet. Here's what happens when you sell without a plan. You become a displaced buyer in one of the most competitive markets in the country. You're competing against buyers who have already spent all the time in the world while you're living in a temporary housing, stressed out, finding something quickly situation. Now, if you're a client out there, let's say you're in Beaverton and you sold your home for $650,000 thinking that you might easily find a place for around $500K. 6 months later, you end up paying $580 for a home that was 400 square feet smaller and needed about $30,000 in updates. This would have been better off just staying put. Never sell until you know exactly where you're gonna go. And even if you've confirmed that, know that the inventory exists in your price range first. Now, the next one is where I see a lot of people losing money and it's completely avoidable. Situation number 3 is when you haven't actually ran the numbers on your move. This is especially critical in Portland right now with our interest rate environment. I see people sitting on that 2.5%, that 3% mortgage rate who want to downsize thinking they're gonna save money. The math reality? Let's say you have a $400,000 mortgage at a 3% interest rate. Your payment's probably about $1,700 a month. And if you sell and you buy a smaller home for $500 with today's rate around 7%, your new payment's almost $3,300. That's nearly double. Plus, you got to pay real estate commissions. That's between $15,000 and $20,000. moving costs $3,000 to $5,000, closing costs up to $10K, and potential repairs up to $10,000. It's a big wake-up call. The smaller, cheaper home may end up costing you thousands more a month. Always run the complete financial analysis before making any. Here's where it gets really dangerous, folks, especially with Portland homeowners who've seen massive equity growth. The fourth situation that I'm here to tell you about today is to never sell when your home is your retirement plan and you don't have an adequate savings anywhere else. Portland home values have increased dramatically over the past decade. If you bought your home for $300,000 and it's now worth $700,000, that $400K in equity might feel like your retirement fund, but it's a trap. Here's your problem. If you sell and downsize, you still need somewhere to live. And if in Portland's market, that's a smaller home might cost $500,000 to $600,000 after taxes and commissions, leaving you with some sort of equity around $200,000 in cash, and you still have a mortgage payment. There are better alternatives out there for you. So consider these options that I'm going to talk about. A reverse mortgage to access equity while staying in your home, renting out part of your home for an additional income, a home equity line of credit for major expenses. Your home can work for you without actually selling it. And the final situation, this one drives me crazy because I hear it almost every single day. The fifth and final situation is you're trying to time the market. I hear it all the time. Should I sell now before prices drop? Or should I wait until the market gets better? Here's the truth about timing that you're not going to hear from a lot of realtors. Here's what 25 plus years of professional sales experience has taught me. Nobody, and I mean nobody, can perfectly time a real estate market. Not the economists, not real estate agents, and not even the most sophisticated investors in the world. So I had a client back in 2019 who wanted to wait because they thought prices would get higher. They waited 2 years, and by 2021, the home had increased by $150,000. But guess what? That home they wanted to buy had already gone up. They didn't gain anything by waiting. And you remember what happened during that pandemic. The rates were low, prices were high. You should never make real estate decisions based on market timing. You should make them based on your personal circumstances, your financial situation, and your life goals. So there you have it, the 5 situations where you should never sell your home here in the Portland metro area. When you're making an emotional decision, when you don't know where you're going, when you haven't run the numbers, when your home is your only retirement plan, when you're trying to time the market. My final thoughts on this, remember, selling your home is one of the biggest financial decisions you will ever make. Don't let emotion, pressure, or market timing drive that decision. Take the time to plan, analyze, and make sure selling truly serves your best interest. Now, if you're thinking about selling your home in the Portland metro area and want to make sure your decision is right, I'd love to help you run through these scenarios. Below in the description is all my contact information. We can sit down, no pressure, just honest advice about whether selling makes sense for you right now. And if you like this video and it helped you avoid a costly mistake, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button so that I can keep on providing you with great real estate content here in the Portland metro area. Again, my name's Tom Baker. All my contact information is below. You can call or text me anytime. Thanks so much for watching and have a great day.